Sports Limelight. Hello, Drew.
Well, hey, Bill, how's it been, man?
It's been great, thank you. Well, Drew, today let's talk about movies we thought were great when we were little, but now not so much, through the eyes of an adult.
That's right.
We talked a while back about Pee-wee's Big Adventure and how it's still awesome. Are there any examples for you of the opposite, where you loved it as a child, but now kind of embarrassed?
Yeah, the first movie that comes to mind for me is Mac and Me. You remember this? You remember this movie?
I never saw that.
It came out like 4 or 5 years after E.T., and it was like a knockoff E.T.
Oh, wow.
God, it was so bad, but I thought it was really funny because it was like not as serious as E.T. Like the kid would take the alien like to school and like get into like little like shenanigans with it and try to hide it from his mom. And the worst part of the movie, which I thought was pretty cool at the time, was they went into a McDonald's and there was a jukebox and the alien put money in and started dancing. And then the whole audience or food customers started doing this whole choreographed dance like they were professional dancers. Oh my God, it was so awesome.
You really do have to suspend your disbelief for something like that, don't you?
How about you, sir?
Well, I think my glaring example is Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Oh man, these movies are bad.
You're right. You get so excited about like the action part of it that the dialogue and script is so bad.
And I'll kind of give you another one. Doesn't fit quite in the same way because I didn't see it as a child. But here's a movie that most of our generation saw as a child, loved it. It's iconic. I am not bound by this because I only saw it a couple years ago as an adult. Top Gun. Have you watched Top Gun lately?
I have, and I got to say it was probably better as a kid because of the planes and, you know, just the cool soundtrack. And the half-naked volleyball game was really awesome.
Playing with the boys.
But yeah, I mean, it was pretty much I watched the movie to see the jets fly. And everything else was just filler. I was waiting for it to be over.
So you're not as bound as, say, my wife is, who just loves the movie as a whole. To me, it's just cheesy and predictable and really dated, and the story isn't that interesting. It's kind of the same story as Days of Thunder, which I may get myself into trouble here. I did see Days of Thunder as a child and still love it today as an awesome movie.
Wow.
But it's like the same story, just with jets instead of cars.
Right.
By a lot of the same people.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have any examples of TV or music, perhaps? I'll give you one. I bought a Sammy Hagar CD based off of hearing one song performed live on a late-night show. And looking back on it now, it's a terrible album. Even the one single that I thought was so cool that I was listening to is terrible. And I feel so like I was duped as a consumer. Like I feel like a sucker that I, bought what they were selling and went out and as a 14 or 15-year-old, I think, went out and paid $16 for a terrible Sammy Hagar CD.
Well, Bill, I have one artist in mind, MC Hammer.
Ooh.
He was big in like the early 90s. His first album, Please Hammer, Don't Hurt Him. You Can't Touch This.
He did hurt him, though, didn't he?
He did. He hurt me bad. It was a cool dance video. Me and my brother would end up being on the family room floor dancing to it and just being stupid. But you would never catch me with that CD in my car now.
Yeah,
but it was fun, I guess, to dance to it.
It's funny for me, even though this was well before I was tricked by Sammy Hagar, I sort of had this thing. Even I think I was in 4th grade when Vanilla Ice Baby came out. Mm-hmm. And all of my classmates were into it, but I sort of felt detached even then. Like, this is something you guys like, and I don't, and I'm above this, and I'm not fooled by trends. Like, and then after that would come the Macarena and Who Let the Dogs Out, and each time I didn't get involved, and I feel proud of myself now that I didn't take the bait. And don't you all feel silly for loving it for like 3 months then, and now you're looking back and kind of embarrassed by it? I've always been almost overly skeptical and cynical and pessimistic, as you've seen manifest in my sports viewing.
Well, to do a double whammy, how about Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2 with Vanilla Ice rapping?
Oh, man, that is a double whammy.
Ninja, rap.
What was he doing there?
Making money.
Oh, yeah.
signing a big contract. And I also have some more guilty pleasures back then. I went to an NSYNC concert.
Did you really?
I did.
NSYNC. So this was mid to late 90s.
Yep, it was the summer of 2000.
Oh, that's pretty late. Oh, man.
Yeah, sorry.
Was it with a lady?
It was with two ladies and my friend with them. So
You're excused from that.
yeah, I mean,
There's-
come on, I was a
there's ladies.
teenager in love, and I did what they told me to do.
Yeah. I saw them even later than you here. I saw the movie Are We There Yet in the theaters with Ice Cube.
Oh yeah,
This was like 2004, I think, and it was terrible.
did they get there? Did they get to their destination?
I'm not going to spoil it for you.
Oh yeah, you're right. That's a good idea. I have it on my Netflix queue. Now, to turn it to the opposite, are there any shows that you particularly didn't like, or movies, and they kind of warmed up to you, or you see you ask yourself, how come I didn't like this before?
You know, I hope I get there with MASH someday,
Okay.
and I hope I get there with the Beatles someday, because I think I sort of decided early on that I wasn't going to like them or that they weren't interesting to me, both MASH and the Beatles.
Mm-hmm.
And there are certain things that are so popular that you know you're missing something. And I hope eventually I find it, why the Beatles are so beloved and why MASH was such a great show. Because, right up to this point, still not seeing it.
Yeah. Well, it's also based on experience or what was happening at the time.
Yeah.
You know, we don't have that type of, event or whatever is going on with the MASH show. But, yeah, never saw one episode. I usually went to bed when it was coming on. So my parents watched it, but I didn't.
Yeah, funny you mentioned going to bed. Even kind of the opening song for that show, just kind of I equate with sleep and bedtime and boredom.
Boredom, yeah. And then like those girls running, medics like running to a scene with their green uniforms.
Huh.
You know what's funny? Here's a movie that it seems to get better every time I watch it because as I get older, I understand more of what's going on. Back to the Future.
Yes.
You know, I used to always like, the car and the dance and stuff like that. But now if you watch it more, you understand some of the lines and it's pretty cool.
That does get better with time.
You know what also gets better with time, and you haven't seen it yet? The Princess Bride.
Oh, yeah. I got close to carving out time to watch that once, but didn't get there. So maybe this weekend.
Ooh, hey, there you go. That's considered a timeless movie.
Good.
To a lot of viewers, so.
Recently watched Caddyshack. A little underwhelmed by that.
It's not on my top list for funny movies,
Yeah.
to be honest.
Yeah. What's the big deal?
Yeah. But then again, I haven't seen it in probably 10 years, so
Oh, okay.
it could be that. But, dude, my favorite comedy is easily Airplane.
That's a great one.
Oh, my gosh.
I love Airplane.
I love wordplay, and that is just full of
Yep.
making fun of scenarios and words. Oh, my gosh.
Right in the Drew wheelhouse there.
Oh, my gosh. It's like my favorite part is when they're about to crash and the stewardess comes on and says, everyone prepare for a crash landing. And they're all like getting up on the chair like, like pretending like they're getting ready to be crashed already. So
And I think I love anything with Leslie Nielsen. His style really works for me. In Airplane and in the Naked Gun movies, love those too.
I like the Naked Gun, but it's not as subtle as Airplane. Like it's obviously more wacky and more slapstick. Where Airplane, you have to really listen to the dialogue to make it worth your while. It's so awesome.
Yeah.
Shirley, you can't be serious. I
Right.
am, but don't call me Shirley.
And how after that big, dramatic crash landing at the end, doesn't Leslie Nielsen enter the cockpit and go, say something like, "We're all counting on you," as if something big is about to happen, and it already happened.
Yeah, you know what movie is not funny to me, and it's always in the top 3 for funniest movie is Animal House.
Agreed. I did not see that until about 5 or 6 years ago, and I don't get why it's so iconic as well.
Yeah.
Put that in the Caddyshack bin of overrated 30 or so year old movies.
Yeah, I guess it's just a time thing or bringing out memories for older crowd or something. But Tommy Boy's funny.
I do enjoy Tommy Boy.
Chris Farley makes movies.
Yeah,
Like,
he did.
No, I mean, like he made it
Oh
funny.
yeah, no, I was saying that too,
Oh,
but
okay.
yeah, just now.
He
like,
does. He makes movies.
Yeah.
Or he did. I really like Jim Carrey. I like his sense of style of humor and how he'll put himself out there and be wacky with his face and stuff.
I bet the Cable Guy is still funny. I haven't seen it in a long time, and I remembered liking it at the time.
Yeah.
But it was a little darker, and I think critics were pretty harsh on it. Overly harsh, in my opinion.
Well, that was right in the Ace Ventura, Dumb and
Yeah.
Dumber times, so it was.
They're probably expecting more of that.
And to be honest, I don't like the movie either.
Oh, okay.
It's not a role that Jim Carrey is good at.
Huh.
Maybe his character just annoyed me and didn't seem to fit the part. I think somebody else could have played it, and it would have been a little better.
Oh, do you have anyone in mind who would have been better for that? Like Vince Vaughn or...
More like, like Andy Dick or somebody, somebody stupid.
Well, yeah, and you have to consider, do you want to make the character likable or not?
Yeah.
Andy Dick or like Ben Stiller, that would make me hate him as much as possible.
Exactly. And
Annoying Andy's the villain.
Ben Affleck or something. Yeah, I think Jim Carrey just overacted it, I think. And it just didn't work with him. But dude, when he's got his comedy, man, he's funny. Have you seen Liar Liar?
Parts of it.
There's some pretty good one-liners in there that you would enjoy.
Maybe I'll have to watch that again then.
Yeah.
But not before Princess Bride.
I guess for TV shows, Saved by the Bell was cool.
I think it's still cool.
It's still kind of cool. I mean, some of the lines are cheesier now that you're
Yeah.
older and you can understand, but
It is what it is. It's a fun kind of
Yeah.
cheesy.
but I was like so obsessed with that show after school.
Yeah.
Like I didn't care what they said, but now it's like, oh my god, why did I like this?
You know what is really cheesy? When we briefly talked about the show Hang Time on a past episode. I watched a couple episodes of that since then, and it was trying to be like Saved by the Bell, but it really fits into that cheesy and bad category. Mm-hmm. If I could boil it down, Saved by the Bell, it's like we're laughing with them, and Hang Time, we're laughing at them.
This is true. Did you ever get into like Melrose Place or Beverly Hills 90210?
No.
It was like a few years like older than me, like those people.
Yeah.
And they were more serious, and I watched it like at the end of my high school years, and it was lame.
You know what I didn't get into at first because of, I think, timing of my age, and then it became one of my favorites of all time, Seinfeld.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't get Seinfeld at first. I was, like 12, 13.
It was another show that came on, and I associated with my parents and,
Yeah.
being bored or whatnot. But, yeah, I mean, after you start to get more exposure to it, I guess, is you watch it more. Like,
And you kind of live some of these situations, or at least can relate to them.
yeah.
somewhat.
Yeah, I remember as I got older in high school, I watched Seinfeld more. I watched Frasier.
Yeah, I like Frasier, too.
Yeah, Frasier's cool. But I never watched Cheers. Not because I didn't like it, but I just never got into it. And it was like right at that cusp of,
Yeah.
eh.
I think it went from like 81 to 92.
Yeah, Friends was all right. I mean, I could probably watch it now and be a little better. But I hate that whiny David Schwimmer.
Oh, Schwimmer fatigue.
Jeez, man.
I don't find him likable in the least bit. And
Oh, he could have played the cable guy. That would have been cool.
bringing it all full circle there. Sports Limelight, thank you for joining us for this one. Always love these kinds of non-sports topics, too.
Yeah, it's always nice to indulge your senses to other things besides sports.
See you next time.